Once upon a long time ago, way out west in Nunn, Wyoming, a strange family showed up with a missionary dream and a not-so-firm grasp of U.S. geography.
When we first heard about Wyoming, we knew absolutely nothing about it. We didn't honestly even know where it was on the map.
Now, I'm sure you all young'uns know where Wyoming is on a map, but just so we're all straight, it's right here, right smack dab in the center of North America. And most of it looks like this. Not really the hustle and bustle kind of place most people think of when they're looking for somewhere they can go and tell lots of folks about Jesus. But Tyler and Ashley Martin are not most people.
We'd never been to Wyoming before, but we just had this belief that God was going to do something. And so we were just crazy enough to try, because people in small towns need Jesus too.
Turns out Wyoming's the place to be if you're looking for small towns that need Jesus. There are 60 of them here that have no church of any kind. That's why Tyler and Ashley and their kids Ava, Michael, and Annie moved to Nunn. They wanted to start a church in a place that needed one.
Yeah, when we get asked why someone should plant a church when there's already so many existing churches, well, one in Wyoming, the answer is easy. There's a lot of places without them.
It takes a lot of work to start a church, especially in a place like Nunn. And Tyler and Ashley figured out real quick that if they were going to get anything going here, their whole family was going to have to pitch in.
Our kids didn't have a choice. We needed them. They help with so much, and they absolutely love it.
What's now Outfitter Church meets at a restaurant, and every Sunday morning, Tyler and Ashley's kids help turn it into a church. There's cards to put out, and windows to open, and signs to set up, and chairs to arrange, and not nearly enough people to do it all.
At a church plant, that need is really felt. And I think having our kids involved in setting up and helping at the church teaches them that they're important too, that every person that is there is a part of the family, is a part of the church. And so for our kids to be able to see that the church needs them, wants them, enjoys them, is such a blessing.
This is what Outfitter Church looks like when they're all done setting up. A big old room filled with people who had never heard much about Jesus until the Martins showed up. And next to that, another big old room that's, well, a restaurant.
One of their most popular times for their business is Sunday morning breakfast. And throughout, while we're singing, while we're preaching, there's people just on the other side of a glass window sitting at their table looking in at what God's doing.
That's one way Outfitter Church started to grow. Curious customers like Trent Featherston started wandering over from the restaurant. And when they did, they liked what they heard.
To hear, just the gospel, the way it's preached, and the transparency of Tyler, I knew God was telling me, you're not living the life I have for you.
Like lots of other people who showed up at Outfitter, Trent decided to follow Jesus. Now he's part of Tyler's master plan. He and a bunch of other men are learning how to start a church in a small Wyoming town, just like Tyler did.
Our heart and what we see God priming and prepping us to do is to raise up men, train them with an apprenticeship here, and then send them out to start churches in towns that have never had a church in them ever.
The whole Martin family pitched in to start Outfitter Church, and now families at Outfitter are pitching in to start more new churches in tiny towns all over Wyoming. They've all bought into what Tyler's been saying. Every place matters, no matter how big or small.
God has not forgotten about these small towns, and so we plant churches because they need the gospel too, and this is the only way that we're ever going to get it to them. They don't have a church 15 minutes down the road that they can go to. This is it. This is their only chance to hear the gospel.